Join us on Now We Consume. Take in the knowledge, take in the laughs, indulge in the topics with us. The Now We Consume podcast will take you through the parts of your day you normally dread. Why suffer through the existential crisis of life alone when you can do it with us? And now we consume.
This is not meant to be a conspiracy episode or podcast, but we may cover some topics that dance that line like a toddler dances on their mother's last nerve. This podcast is rated I, for immature audiences only.
Welcome to the Now We Consume podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Pip. Here tonight with me is my co-host, Gibbs.
Hello.
Took you a second there. Wasn't sure if you were actually going to say hi.
Oh, I got a little scared, a little frightened.
Stage fright happens. It gets worse with age, too. Performance anxiety. It's a killer. So tonight, Gibbles, once again, is taking some time off. I don't know if you guys saw our post last week, but life is truly treating him like a fleshlight. The universe has a fond crush on him. So we took the weekend off to show a little bit of respect and some solidarity. God, if I could speak, that'd be great. For him and with him. So he is in our thoughts tonight, and we're hoping he can join us again soon. On the next note, we are still planning for our live show coming up here in just a number of weeks. What are we down to, like 10, 12 weeks?
Oh, God,
It's
that's
coming up
quick.
It's coming up quick, buddy.
Yeah, we got like 10, 12 weeks. Yeah, God, whoa.
Yeah.
10 weeks.
Yeah. So keep listening for that. If you're planning to attend, we'll have the information coming out for that here in the next probably couple of shows. Mid-July, I think we'll have the details finalized, and we'll have all the information out for that.
Definitely by like beginning of August at the absolute latest for all the little things, but definitely late July.
Yeah, there's still some kind of back and forth on the tickets, whether that's going to be a thing. Trying to figure out if there's going to be seating or if it's just going to be standing room only. So that's still being tossed around. So tonight's episode, I'm sure most of you, if you pay any attention at all to any of the alternative news, you have heard about all of the scientists that have been vanishing or ended up dead that have been connected to various high-level, top-secret government programs and work associated with extraterrestrials that have been coming of release. Not the fun release. So we've been hearing left and right about aliens live among us. The technology is off-world. We've covered the UFO disclosures on the show before, but this is happening at a rate that's unprecedented, even by our standards, I think. And if you kind of spend some time looking through the defense establishment as a whole, you got the national labs, the private aerospace firms, all of it. These places hold some of our deepest secrets as far as government intel is concerned. You kind of get used to a certain level of cold bureaucratic silence. Lately, that silence has been broken by the sound of a gavel. There's a lot of frantic oversight hearings and something that's a little bit more disturbing, a body count. It's not just a historical anomaly. This is actually happening right now, even into 2026. There's been a pattern that's forcing a lot of even cynical Beltway insiders to look twice. High-level plasma physicists have been shot in their homes. Exoplanet researchers were killed on their doorsteps. A retired Air Force general, a man who spent his entire life managing the military's most sensitive aerospace secrets, vanished into the wilderness with nothing but a revolver and his hiking boots. I'm not sure he was even clothed. Maybe his skivvies. At the exact same time, the public discourse around what actually is flying in our skies has taken a bizarre, hyper-specific turn. Just last month in May, a veteran insider like Hal Puthoff, I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right, hit the independent media circuit with a claim that sounds like it's right out of science fiction, that the U.S. government isn't just holding crashed hardware that we have actually recovered biological remains from at least 4 distinct non-human species. What did you think when you heard that one, Gibbs? Because I know that we talked a little bit about it, but we didn't really get a chance to kind of go into it.
So without me jumping the shark a little bit, getting too much into later details,
Mm-hmm.
none of the problem that we have is none of this would be all that surprising, to be honest with you. You could come out tomorrow and tell me right now that Independence Day, the movie, was actually a documentary, and I'd say, yeah, probably. But I just, at this point, nothing would surprise me. What is surprising me, though, is the fact that really before, I would honestly even say before Trump's second presidency, the UFO stuff was always kind of very much in the background, very much away. It was always kind of the crazy conspiracy theorist stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then during COVID, and I do think this is somewhat loosely related, with everybody stuck in their homes and nothing to do, people started getting really nosy online and really documenting everything. And you can even look online and see the amount of UFO or unexplained phenomenon that had been reported and posted had gone way up during the COVID times. And when people have nothing else to do, of course they dove into this kind of stuff. So it's gone from what used to be kind of your local neighborhood crazy guy, it's a conspiracy, man, to now it's like people have become almost desensitized to this in a weird way, where it's crazy how often government officials are actually talking about this, and it's coming up in official hearings, official meetings, to where disclosures are coming, but there hasn't been any really official disclosures that have really been substantial. It's always like they have something small or a bit of something, whatever. Of course, it's going to be under closed doors, essentially. But it is very interesting that this is all kind of almost exploded recently in the last like 3 or 4 years. But really, it's been kind of in the last year, because they were talking about it last summer, talking about Trump was going to make a big disclosure, and they were going to start talking about stuff, but nothing's really been said in explicit detail, or saying, they've never said, hey, here's the photos, or here's the data. It's always been more generalized.
And on that, I want to kind of make a warm plug here. Have you seen Disclosure Day?
Not yet, but I want to, although it is kind of freaking suspicious that kind of comes out at all
Odd timing. Yes. I went and saw it.
Oh, how was it?
It was excellent. During the end of the movie, I was sitting there just thinking to myself, fuck, I wish this was what was happening. I want that level of release. I want that level of disclosure. I want that level of, hey, this is what we actually have.
But see, the problem is when we have such a geopolitical power structure, a power struggle across the globe right now, I really feel like no single country wants to play their hand and show what they have.
Yeah.
Because that, I genuinely feel like a lot of countries assume that other world powers have a lot of hidden technology, which, to be fair, they do, but I don't think it's the level they expect. So everybody's kind of holding this, like, playing this chess game of, like, this bluffing game. And I don't know. It to me, unfortunately, I don't think anybody's going to ever fully disclose.
No.
It'd be nice if they did, but I don't think so.
Not unless it comes to a point where there's a war that's big enough that we have no choice but to start using the weapons that we have.
Unless we found out what happened at that Miami mall.
Right. Yeah, I'm still waiting for that one.
Yeah, that's still... you know what's, on a side note, and not to spoil anything, but I have been trying to do research on that independently.
It's hard.
I have never in my life found something that, like, I had easier information finding MK Ultra and everything else that, like, the CIA and the FBI has done. But finding what happened at some random mall where a bunch of cops were called, it's fucking impossible.
Yeah.
So
the data was scrubbed. The videos were scrubbed, removed. Everything uploaded from that night has been taken down. It's weird.
Yeah, like everything. So that's why, like, that's kind of my proof of concept, where I think if there was anything that truly was substantial, I don't think by the time we see it, it's going to be irrelevant.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. Yeah. But there's still a lot to talk about here.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like those all those drones that we had flying around the sky last year.
Yeah, yeah.
We never had a definitive release of what they actually were.
No.
They just kind of faded away.
No. Well, now with all those flock cameras going in, they'll never need drones again. They can just look at their cameras.
Yeah.
That's one I want to do an episode on because that pisses me off.
We probably will. There was a guy here in Ohio that just got he just got his day in court, or his initial hearing. He pled not guilty. Sledgehammer meets camera ×6.
But like, good, because I don't know how they think they have the right to record people without
it's mass surveillance.
Yeah, I thought. Because then I guess the other thing would be if you're allowed to video people without their permission, then there's no such expectation of privacy even on private property, because a lot of flock cameras can look into private property.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, then I can record anything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do an episode on the flock cameras. I'll make a note later.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, continuing on with this. Sorry. First half of 2026 has seen a rather unprecedented spike in deaths. I will say some of the ones that we're going to cover, I thought had been happening this year, and it turns out they were just being covered this year.
Yeah, they happened a lot of them happened last year.
Yeah. So I do want to make that clear that some of these did happen over the last couple of years, but they just got reported this year. One of the big ones, you'll recognize the name. And that one did happen a couple years ago, but just got brought to light this year. So I do want to emphasize that before we go too deep into this. But there was a big spike in deaths, lots of disappearances, and the oversight hearings within the Defense Department and the national labs, as well as private aerospace firms. Some of the big bombshells from this year were the high-level insiders, including Hal Puthoff, recently hit independent media with massive claims, including, like we'd mentioned, that the U.S. government does, in fact, possess physical biological remains from what he said at least 4 distinct non-humans.
English.
Good God. English.
It's okay, take your time.
Right. 4 distinct non-human species. What bothers me about that phrase is he says at least 4.
Oh, there's more.
So
that always means more. Anything from the government means if it could be, it is. That is the same thing with when they asked the FBI how many assets they had at January 6th, and they answered they couldn't answer. Like, yes, so there are more. Same thing with this. It's, at least 4 probably that they have named or classified. They probably have several more they haven't yet.
Mm-hmm. We might have to look into things like Mount Shasta.
Dude, I just saw that yesterday.
Yeah, buddy.
Like that I went down a rabbit hole this morning.
Yeah.
And
that's
I don't like
up.
it. Like I actually I'm not saying we should go there, but as a fat man, I've never said this before, but I kind of want to go hiking. Because I kind of want to see what's going on, because it is absolutely terrifying me, the fact that at that mountain they've just put a bunch of speakers and sirens to get rid of the local wildlife so they could build something there. They don't know what. I'm assuming it's a data center, but who knows? But come on, can't be doing that. How is that? That's not legal. Like if I tried to, as a civilian, do that on my property, be like, oh, back half my property is wetlands because of all this other crap, and there's animals I can't move. I can't just put speakers out there and get rid of them. They'll be like, oh, hey, it's no longer protected.
No, that's not how that works.
But the government can.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want. So, something that needs to be asked with all this stuff going on, is this just a tragic kind of random statistical anomaly situated amongst high clearance individuals? Or is this a more aggressive, panicked cleanup operation by, the old guard, air quotes included, to try to keep a hold of control?
I'm going to go with a third option, the secret third option.
Okay.
I don't think a lot of them are actually gone. I think they've been moved somewhere else.
I would definitely say that's a possibility.
Because how many of those people that are gone actually had an open casket ceremony?
Yeah. And even the ones
Good
that
luck.
did,
Good luck
can
Googling
you
that
prove
one.
that it's their body?
Good luck proving that one. So,
Right.
you know, it's one of those things. Like I would agree. There's obviously something going on because it's very weird for a bunch of well-regarded, well-known scientists to suddenly all, everybody has an accident. It's like, come on.
Right.
Come on. Let's be real. If the Germans after 1945 could somehow remain in Argentina for decades and then work for other countries between the U.S. and East Germany, West Germany, and Russia, and Sweden, and England, and France, and somehow last decades and live out normal lives, yet somehow in this day and age, all of a sudden, none of them know how to drive a car. It just, no. Or they want to go hiking with a revolver and nothing else. Yeah, no, we all know.
I mean, listen, there's a very distinct possibility that a very prominent Austrian artist lived out his days in Argentina.
Yeah.
We can go down that rabbit hole one day if you want.
We could. I mean, there was actually a very interesting documentary about it that I was kind of laughing the whole time because it's like, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
You know, because think about this, like with the Western powers winning the war, like the Allies winning the war, no one would want to admit that, oh yeah, and by the way, he's still around. Like whether he was found or not, it doesn't matter. No one's going to admit like, oh, by the way, he's not here. Of course they're going to say, whether it's right or wrong, it could be true, could be not, but like no one's going to admit that.
Yep. Yeah, we might have a couple episodes out of that.
Oh yeah.
So, but the House Oversight probe was led by Representatives Comer and Burleson. And this ran alongside some quiet FBI and White House review. The taxonomy brief was about the 4 alleged species being discussed by former AATIP connected figures. Those 4 species, if you do not know, are the Nordics, which were the humanoids. They were said to be about 6 feet tall, light pale skin, blue eyes, blonde hair. The Greys, which are the typical gray-skinned, big-headed, black-eye aliens that we're all used to seeing. The Insectoids, which are said to look more like a praying mantis type of creature. And the Reptilians, which are said to control the government. Call out, if you've never seen Inside Job on Netflix, fucking go watch that show. Good God, I love it. It's not a proving ground. It's not proving a single grand conspiracy either. This is all analyzing the incentives, okay? If even 10% of the tech, the biology, turns out to be real, the financial and, like you had said, geopolitical incentives for all of this to ruthlessly police the narrative would be astronomical. So let's kind of take a stroll down some of these incidents that we've been talking about. I want you to go ahead and take this one.
I absolutely had this one I always screw up. Nuno Loureiro is from MIT Fusion and Plasma lead scientist. Shot at his house in December 2025. The former classmate was arrested and the personal motive was claimed. You have Carl Gromeyer from Caltech, worked at NASA and as well as scientist for exoplanetology or exoplanets. Shot on his front porch in February 2026. I actually remember that one. Mm-hmm. Suspect Freddie Snyder swiftly arrested, yet nothing else actually came out from that one. I did a little Google digging on that one. Diggling, LOL. But digging. Major General Neil McCaslin, Air Force Intel UFO General for the AFRL, vanished in the wilderness in February of this year. Ongoing search for, he was an experienced hiker, left tech behind, took a revolver, family downplays it. Not really much has come out with that in terms of any details, but it would be really weird for someone like that to just go do that.
Yeah, I put in that key point of he is an experienced hiker and would know to take more than only a revolver. They said he took no like camping supplies, no survival supplies, nothing.
I'll tell you right now, he was picked up.
Oh yeah. The family downplaying the conspiracy. I'm thinking there's a reason they're saying that there is no conspiracy. They're either well aware of where he's at or they were paid.
How it would,
or threatened.
Here's my assumption, and I'm not somebody that's involved with the government, but my assumption would be if there was a situation where they had to legally distance themselves from their family for legal reasons, they would just go for a long hike and just say, see you later.
Yeah.
And that's that. Because if you're somebody that's that high up and you have to have a reason to be able to get kind of off the reservation in a way, to kind of get away from everybody, something might have happened where it's, hey, it's time to cut ties. You got important stuff to figure out. Or maybe he drew the short straw and he's the one general that they're like, all right, you got to go do it, man. Who knows? But it should be really weird.
Have you ever heard of the supposed 20 and back program?
No, actually.
This has never been proven, but now, with all the disclosures, I'm wondering if something like this is going to come out. The 20 and back program is supposed to be a secret program designed to work with various alien species that the government is supposed to be working with. People from the military sign up, they go and do 20 years off world, and then after that 20 years, their memories are erased and they're brought back.
I would highly doubt that, because I'd figure by now somebody would have screwed something up. But possible, I guess.
Think about this. Someone high up like that at the end of their career, they'd be the perfect candidate.
But I guess if their memories are wiped, then there's no benefit.
Well, someone like that, they wouldn't have to have their memory wiped. Pick them up at the end of their Earth career, take them off, and they'll just go live out their life.
Maybe.
I'm just curious about a lot of these things that have always been called like fringe conspiracy theories. If they're going to start coming to light with more plausibility.
I guess the way I look at it is I would not be surprised if people like him that know too much, they say, hey, now you're at a point to where you are considered a liability if you leave, so you are being relocated.
Yeah.
And that's that, because we do have military bases that are literally built into mountains. Like, we have places that no one else could ever think of or get to or get a signal out of or anything. I would not be surprised if there are groups of, ex-government guys that's once they reach a certain point, or, something else I did read once, and this was years ago, was that if you're high enough up in the government, you might get tapped on the shoulder and say, hey, do you want to know? But that cost for if you want to know is there will come a time where we pull you away. And that is your key. That's your time. Where then you are going to have to go work for this government entity or agency. But you are no longer have contact. Your family will be taken care of. Your names will be changed. Whatever. People will be moved around. But that's you doing your service or whatever. I would not be surprised if something like that exists. I'm sure it does in some capacity. But there's no way they're ever going to officially, say that.
No, not at all.
Because I hate to say it, though, as much as I agree with certain things, there's no way you can trust any president with some information. And I hate to say that because it's supposed to be the commander-in-chief, but let's be honest, with the way politics is in the U.S., it's not like how it was 100 years ago where, the majority of people might agree on something. Nowadays, it's so polarized that I would not be surprised if certain parts of the government, especially the military-industrial complex, acts independently and does stuff like this.
Well, think about it. Presidents are short-term. Information like that would stick around for longer, so it would not necessarily go to the president. And it kind of makes sense.
We had some guys running the CIA for 20 years, 15, 20 years. I mean, that saw 4 or 5 different presidents. I mean, I hate to say it, but sometimes they know more. Sometimes these different government entities, they will know a lot more. And they're in charge of a lot more directly.
That's why you get the thought that there's other people running the government. And it's probably true.
Probably is true.
So yeah, go ahead and let's finish up these last two.
Yep, absolutely. So you have Matthew James Sullivan, Air Force Intel crash retrieval ties. He had an overdose in 2024. Ruled accidental. occurred weeks before scheduled oversight testimony. Again, come on.
Yeah.
We know what's going on with that.
And I just want to point this out. Crash retrieval ties. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Advanced tech with crash retrieval. What just came out that we had that was used in the field for the first time that nobody ever thought was going to be real tech at this point in our lives?
I actually don't know.
The heartbeat sensor.
Oh, that thing. Yes. Yeah.
Tell me that's not something that was put together with fucking tech.
Well, the
way it worked, how far away it worked from. Come on.
I mean, what was the distance on that? Was it like miles?
Like 2 miles.
Yeah.
You're telling me they had a heartbeat pegged down from 2 miles? Come the fuck on.
Well, that's why.
That's some video game bullshit.
Actually, that's beyond a video game because I don't know of any video game I've heard of doing something that ridiculous.
Call of Duty only goes out like 20 meters.
Yeah. Yep. I remember the heartbeat detector on my ACR. It was like 10 feet, 20 feet away. And that was considered ridiculous. Everyone was like, that's fucking stupid. But
yeah.
But 2 miles? I mean, and people don't realize, like, isn't the highest sniper shot like 1.5 miles or?
No, it's, I think, a little over 2 miles now.
A little over 2? All right, so then theoretically, like, you know, there are many assassinations that now do not seem very far-fetched.
Exactly.
When you know. And what's even crazier is I don't even know with that heartbeat technology if they can differentiate somebody just by their fitness and being like, oh, this guy's a fat bastard. His resting heart rate's like 97. You know? Like, we know who we're targeting here, you know? Or like, this guy's a runner. His resting heartbeat's 45, you know? That would honestly, I think that would make a hilarious like skit for just an assassin that has really good tech, so it makes his job really, really simple.
That'd be something on Vet TV.
But anyways.
All right. And then the last one. This is the one that I thought was recent, but this one just, it really just came out this year. But yet it happened back in 22.
So this is from Amy Eskridge. She was anti-gravity and exotic propulsion. Died to a shotgun fatality back in 2022. Ruled self-inflicted, preceded by explicit warnings to friends.
Yeah.
So she had reached out several times. But I also know other people had made calls about her. It was not like an unknown thing, but what's weird is like didn't have a history before working in that field, so from what I could see online, so it seemed fairly recent, but
yeah, when somebody says what I'm working on is probably going to get me killed, you know, I'm of sane mind and body. I wish no harm on myself. If something happens to me, it was not me. Somebody else did it.
Yeah.
Then that happens. It's like, fuck.
How do you? Because there was no previous or prior. There was nothing. Because I did a little digging.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing I could see other than the couple of things that she said explicitly, reaching out to friends and saying like, "Hey, this is what happened."
Yeah.
And
if I'm not mistaken, she had seen vehicles outside of her house like the night before. I might be getting it confused with another case, but I think she had reported to some of her friends like, "Hey, there's some like vans outside my house, and it's kind of getting me a little worried. If something happens, it wasn't me."
This is why I hate to say it, but you need to have your own community of friends and people that care about you and have a game plan because no government's ever going to save you.
Just remember, we're from the government. We're here to help.
Yeah, no. Nope. Every day I get closer and closer to buying 1,000 acres of Montana and just living out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. That way, if the Clintons come to get you, they have a long driveway to walk down.
Yeah, but with my luck, they'll just use a warthog or something. They'll just be like, you know.
Yeah.
Here's $20,000 worth of 30 mil to your forehead. That's about it. You know.
So we can break down some of these issues and what happened. I was able to get a little bit of information on some of these cases. So since you already broke them down and went over them, we have Rio, whatever. God, it sounds like I have a stroke. And Grillmare. Local law enforcement closed both of the cases swiftly with standard local crime and personal motives. I feel like there were fall guys ready.
Yeah.
If you look at the fields of study, fusion threatens global energy markets. Exoplanet research mathematically proves where others reside. So to stop a breakthrough, you don't steal a hard drive, you eliminate the unique mind. So if you kind of start corkboard red stringing everything together, it doesn't take long to see everything connects together. Major McCasland, he is legendary in UAP lore, long suspected as the gatekeeper of Wright-Patterson materials and former commander of the Air Force Research Laboratory, the AFRL. He was an experienced hiker. Having an accident is plausible, but intentionally leaving tracking devices behind while taking a firearm suggests someone who viewed a pinging phone as an immediate liability. So, like you said, there's a very good chance that he had a reason to do what he did.
Yeah.
Matthew James Sullivan, a critical direct link to the David Grush UAP disclosure pipeline, ready to provide actionable data to Congress, but died just weeks before his deposition. Anytime someone mysteriously dies before they're supposed to testify before Congress, I immediately go to they knew something they weren't supposed to know. They were about to spill it.
Yeah.
That was silencing. Plain and simple.
That's happened hundreds of times now.
Yeah. Eric Burleson has publicly expressed explicit frustration. The accidental overdose remains a classic intelligence community cleanup tool to avoid messy ballistic forensics while keeping the witness stand empty. So very, very high probability that was a hit.
Oh, yeah.
And Miss Eskridge. She was an aerospace engineer at the Institute for Exotic Science. She was the daughter of a NASA plasma specialist researching literal anti-gravity and exotic propulsion. I, for one, really want to see that tech come to fruition. Before her death, she sent frantic texts stating, "If I die, I did not kill myself." She formally complained of directed energy harassment and intensive physical surveillance. Highlights the targeted psychological degradation used to neutralize independent hardware researchers before they can go public. So she's one of the people that I think they tested the Havana weapons,
probably,
or something along that line on here on U.S. soil. If you've heard of Havana syndrome, those are the types of sonic weapons that they were supposedly using down in Cuba.
Yeah, basically
sonic weapons are no joke.
Like long-range acoustic devices, but like make that into something that can transmit, tens, if not even dozens of miles, sometimes even hundreds of miles, depending on what kind of technology you want to believe in.
All right. Now, get out your tinfoil hats, strap down your no-no squares, and get your butt plugs ready. Because this is where it gets sort of wee-woo.
Wee-woo.
Wee-woo. There are a lot of alien species claims and a lot of ties that go in with this and why it's been escalating in 2026. We don't know what these objects are. It's a very deep legacy to insiders openly mapping out human taxonomy. Gibbs, do you want to take this next section right here?
So we have the 4 alleged factions. You got the humanoids, Nordics, tall, physically indistinguishable from humans, capable of embedding undetected. That's actually probably the most scary of all of them.
Yeah, they could be among us and we wouldn't know because they look like us.
Yeah. Which explains some of our politicians. We have the Greys, classic utilitarian biomechanoids prominent in pop culture. Yeah, I mean, it would make sense that, we would be pulling from something that's somewhat factual because, someone had to see him at some point,
On that one, did you ever see Paul?
Hi, I'm Paul. Yeah, no, yeah, I have
The
seen
movie
that one.
Paul.
Yeah.
He in the movie they claimed that he looked like the aliens because they had been dripping images like that to the public for decades to get the people ready for seeing aliens like him, which makes sense. It's not a far-fetched theory.
No, it's just
like if you really think about it.
But
that's the thing. You have to look at this from a logical perspective, which is like the hard part for people to do.
But I think there's one thing people I think the government's forgetting that humans are naturally violent against other humans.
Mm-hmm.
So I think of most, especially, okay, how do I say this nicely? In low IQ areas, I don't think an alien's lasting more than 3.5 steps, maybe 4 at the maximum.
Mm-hmm.
4 people are going to beat the living shit out of it.
And fuck it.
Hold up. Because I had to make sure I heard you say what you said. So in your case, it might make it like 9 steps before it gets shoved into your car and you suddenly drive away at 100 miles an hour. You know. But
someone's going to be clapping some alien cheeks, okay? We're going to find out if lube works.
I can't make jokes on stream because they would be considered insensitive. But Jesus Christ. Oh my God. You know,
make the jokes, Gibbs. Make the jokes.
No, those I can't make. I'll have to text you. But the one I can make is I'm going to know this happened because we're not going to see it for a few weeks, and all we're just going to see on like Google Maps or something is that you've had a lot of construction for some reason. There's a soundproof basement, and we just don't see you for weeks, and we're all going to be thinking, "Man, he's having a great time," but really, you're having a great time.
I'll just post a picture of the cheek spreader I ordered off of Amazon.
Oh my God. You'd make it all the way home. It's just I don't have time. The tongs will have to do. You know? Oh my God. Intraterrestrial tongs? I don't know how you're going to. Jesus Christ.
Right?
Are you going to try to set the record to be the first man to do that?
Why not? Intergalactic cheek clappers, well, 9,000.
You could have the first with the intergalactic penis. You could be the first guy. Get that fucking tattooed. You're like, you made it on a list. That's it. You may take away my rights, but you can't take away this intergalactic dick. Oh, man.
Going where no dong has gone before.
Oh, man. You know, you'd make,
Johnny Sins.
No. I was thinking the original Johnny Sins. What's his name from Star Trek? Oh, fucking...
Kirk.
You'd be Kirk Proud.
Yes.
Oh, my God. You'd be Redneck Kirk.
Yep. I would have to call out a reference from Paul, too. Right before I slam it in there. It's probing time, bitch.
Oh, wham! Oh, man.
Oh, God.
Little do you know, it's like an episode of Teeth, or like that movie Teeth.
Oh. God, no.
It's like a garbage disposal. Anyways, sorry. We're gonna continue going. But before I lose a trade. So they're also talking about those like an insectoid or mantis-like, described in high-tier close encounters as holding managerial, analytical, or oversight roles.
As long as it's not a human centipede, I'm okay with it.
Fair. Is also described as being reptilians, the most highly stigmatized category, yet a constant fixture in deep black legacy lore.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's always been jokes about reptilians, though. Which, who knows? Maybe that's coming from somewhere. Who knows? Maybe it's not.
Like Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, you know. I just love the barbecue sauce on the
back wall.
Yeah, just randomly.
Mm-hmm.
Just for no reason. I too human. I too barbecue sauce. Just no, it's weird.
Yes.
Anyways. So there is a subsection you have here called the fractional warfare hypothesis.
Yep. This is where it gets kind of wee-woo.
This is why I said you have a section on here. I wanted to specify on that one. This is your section right here.
Yep.
There could be the issue of transnational defense contractors such as like Lockheed, Why couldn't I think of who EG&G? You have EG&G, but I didn't know who you were.
I totally blanked, and I'm going to have to Google that right now.
Okay, you do that. Because we had these notes done a while ago.
Edgerton, Gimbershibben, and Greer.
Thank you. That really narrows it down.
Gemmershausen, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to pronounce it.
Okay, fair. Anyways, yeah. It's German Lockheed. Got it. And
yes.
Hidden government elements may not just be keeping a secret, they may be managing complex relationships. Human factions could be actively divided based on which non-human entity they collaborate with or which tech tree they're trying to monopolize. Yeah,
so
I'll
think about
I
this.
think you're making quite the... I need like 2 tinfoil hats.
Okay, so...
stacked on top of each other.
Let's take a step back and think about this. If we're working with someone like the Greys and the Nordics, for example, and they have technology that we're trying to use or utilize, but in order for us to be allowed to use it, they want us to help them engage in warfare against the insectoids and or the reptilians, because they are, for whatever reason at this point, incapable of doing it on Earth for X reason, or they need our help. They need human resources for this assault. Those are the kinds of things that I have been finding online, and they're not entirely implausible. That's the scariest part.
No, but I just think it overstates the importance of Earth compared to the rest of the galaxy. I mean, not for nothing, or the rest of the universe. Like, we are a tiny,
so
infinitesimal.
that was brought up. The amount of planets that we have found that have been released to the public that are capable of supporting life, in the amount of planets that we have actually found, we have found no confirmed planets in our range that are capable of supporting life that have been released as confirmed. So in the sphere that we are able to observe with our current level of technology, Earth is the only one in that, we'll call it, sector. So yes, Earth is important because in that, like, called a lily pad of space, it's the only one that we, as the general public, know of that is capable of supporting life. So it is an important stop.
I would like to say, though, I feel like if there was another planet that could easily support life, I don't think it would make it to the public, though. For security reasons, I feel like that would not be made public.
Well, especially if there's oil there.
Well, we'd already be there if there was oil. As Americans,
True.
that we go where the oil goes. we do as the oil guides. That's how that works.
Yes. Like the spice, the oil will flow.
Yeah, exactly. Good dude reference. I like that. That was good. Oh man, good book series. The movie series is decent. Not the '90s one. Fuck that. That was not good. But the more recent movies are pretty good. Not perfect, but good.
Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah. So if Sullivan or Eskridge were about to expose that our tech tree has been artificially suppressed to maintain petrodollar dominance, there's the oil reference, the entire global centralized utility grid and economic system would collapse pretty much overnight.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a good chance that they were silenced just to keep the spice flowing, essentially.
Well, yeah. Well, especially when you have billions, if not trillions of dollars of really value across the globe that are literally based on not only the petrodollar, but also like transportation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let me ask you this, and this is, take a step back and think about this from a real logic sense.
I'm leaning all the way back.
Is a proxy war between alien factions through MIT professors more likely, or is the defense industrial complex weaponizing UAP mythology as a massive smokescreen to cover billions in black budget embezzlement and failed projects?
So I think maybe the use of the word proxy war might be too aggressive. Maybe it's the case of just they're playing all sides. Maybe we're being our local Switzerland, being like, well, what can you do for us? You know, if you want to share some technology and some land and like some of our precious air, What can you do? What do you have? Who knows? I think proxy war, though, I understand what you mean, because it's not necessarily like a hot war. More like a Cold War is what you're describing. But I just think maybe the word, it elicits a different idea than what you're using, but I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I think realistically it would not surprise me that this is more of a, we're willing to give them this so we can get that technology or whatever. Just a lot of bartering back and forth, a lot of communication. And I'm assuming maybe a lot of miscommunications. Who the hell knows? Between aliens suddenly showing up in Miami. Like getting their coordinates wrong. Who knows? Yeah.
Which on that, someone has pointed out several times that if you just reverse the coordinates, you end up in Antarctica.
Yeah.
So, or if you like swap them or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Longitude and latitude, yeah, if you. But I also did hear, though, that it depends on how you calculate it, because there is a way also to kind of manipulate the system a little bit. But I do know what you mean. Oh, that would be kind of like a bullshit move, though, if like an alien species did have time travel or like the ability to teleport. Like, yeah, just go to these coordinates, don't worry about it. They just transport there and they just die. It's just like, yeah, these skinny little, aliens that have like absolutely zero hair, zero ability to deal with the cold. Yeah, we'll meet you there. No, we'll be there. I promise you. I know it's just a desert. Yeah, no, it'll be fine. It's just a desert, I swear. Yeah, no, that'd be the biggest like FU.
Yeah, definition of desert has many meanings.
Yes, the definition of desert has many meanings, Fed Boy or Alien Boy. I don't know. God, can you imagine rage baiting aliens just being like a little piece of shit? Oh my god, that'd be a pastime. That'd be great.
Oh.
But the Greys gave me this, so I don't know. The insectoids gave me this. What can you do about this? Oh man, there's got to be some sort of interpreter or some sort of like translator that is having a field day. Because if any of this is true at all, which I kind of doubt, but if it is true at all, there's got to be somebody that's in charge of it that's laughing their ass off, being like, the people of this planet have no idea that we just bartered for like interdimensional cable. Or teleport, for an apple. Like, who knows? That would be kind of an interesting thing, though. What if, like, Earth, because of the way humans have been, what if we end up having the ability of being able to supply a lot of food in a lot of different ways that maybe a lot of other planets wouldn't have necessarily, like a diverse ecosystem and nutritional capabilities? I don't know. That's always kind of thought I've had. That on something like that, if they are actually trying to barter.
Yeah, I could see it. So, but that kind of brings us into the last section that I had here that I wanted to cover tonight. The common denominator in a lot of this isn't just the deaths, but it's the intense paranoia and documented harassment that's preceded a lot of these. You've got a lot of the recent chaos surrounding David Wilcock's final erratic posts before his death. That was just this year again. And whether it was a targeted hit or just a very tragic personal situation, it demonstrates how hair-trigger the community's paranoia has become. And this is something that, whether it's actually what it is or it's not, the people who are looking into it are seeing the connections to the point that it's launching congressional level hearings on it. So that's saying something about it. It's not just the fringe crazy nut jobs with the tinfoil hat seeing it. It's people in Congress that are seeing the connections, and they're trying to get answers.
And I will say, I think a lot of this has to do with, finally, I think we're getting some people in Congress that are young enough that are not connected to the old guard that have been running things, to where they're in a position that they're asking these questions and at least trying to hold people accountable. I know no one's really been like actually held accountable yet, but it's a step in the right direction. At least it's something.
Yeah. I will say I'm not 100% a fan of everything she's done, but Anna Paulina Luna is one of the people that has been an absolute bulldog in the ring with this stuff, and I like the tenacity that she's put for getting some of the answers.
Yeah, her, Lauren Boebert, Thomas Massey, there's a few other ones that they were routinely questioning the government about this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And we need more of that. Because
yes,
one of the issues that we've had is, quite frankly, it's been the old guard that's been running this country for 100 years, and it's just kind of one of those shut up and keep on with the times things. And unfortunately, this is why we're in the position we're at now.
Yep. Yeah, when you've got like your Pelosi's, your Schumers, your
Yeah.
people who've been in there for longer than even I've been alive.
There was one of
That's
them.
a problem.
I wish I remembered her name, but she ran in '89, and she said, "I plan on running for 1 or 2 terms. Past that, that's not something I want to do." And she was just reelected last year. She has been running since like the late '80s. It's like those are the ones that are the problem.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. And I don't care. I don't care who you support, who you like or don't like. Nobody should make that a career move. I'm sorry, and that's why we get this.
We need term limits, plain and simple. Both sides, I think, agree on that.
Yeah, not the people in Congress though. Every time it's proposed, they all vote no.
No,
which is crazy because they get their salary for life anyway, and they get health benefits. So like, why wouldn't you call me like a min-max or crazy? Maybe it's because I used to play esports professionally, and like I'm look at this. Why wouldn't you just serve 1 term and then be out and you get your life benefits and everything? Like you already have it.
Retire to an island.
You already have it. You made your money. You already have the health care for you and your family, and you get that pay for life. Now you can do whatever. Why not?
Read.
Be like Hunter Biden. Sell bullshit paintings for $1 bajillion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Call me crazy, but anyways.
So a big question that needs to get asked: how can citizens or researchers verify truth when the individuals with actual hands-on engineering knowledge are legally gagged, scared into hiding, or physically eliminated?
Especially with AI now, nothing's real.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Something to kind of keep in mind is we lack a definitive smoking gun on a lot of these issues, especially the dead and missing researchers. But we do have a very staggering collection of empty chairs at top research labs with unanswered texts from brilliant young minds and an oversight committee walled off by literally infinite classification. So the truth is out there, and we will just never know what it is. And like you said, by the time we do, it'll be so irrelevant that no one will remember or care.
Yeah. Because I hate to say it, at the end of the day, the top comment I always see on anything revolving like alien stuff or anything else, it's, yeah, but do I still have to pay my bills? Like,
yep.
I hate to say it, but everybody's struggling so much with this economy that I know of that, like, again, like as I said, you could tell me Independence Day was a documentary, everyone would say, cool, but I'm still paying taxes. Like, what the fuck? So,
yeah. And, that's something I wanted to bring up, actually. With all the disclosures going on, people have literally just said, what does it matter? It doesn't at the end of the day. As much as I personally want to see the aliens getting marched across the White House lawn and shaking the president's hand, saying, hey, we're here to help, until they do. And they say that, yeah, we're eliminating all of your financial systems, and it's going to be a post-scarcity society. Until that happens, I know.
Oh my God.
Until that happens, people are so blinders on focused on their day-to-day lives and struggles that the scientific knowledge that's coming out of any of these releases and disclosures just doesn't matter, because it doesn't affect them on a level that matters enough to change their lives in any meaningful way.
No.
So
that, and I highly doubt, even if there is an advanced like alien civilization, I doubt they would be as nice and benevolent as the Federation and Star Trek. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I do not think that we would just be allowed to exist as we know it. Unless somehow we are one of the biggest anomalies in the universe. It's somehow we're able to do the things that no one else can, which is like a 1% chance.
Yeah.
Besides that,
some of those stories that are out online about the humans and the different species that they come in contact with are interesting.
Yeah, I think my favorite one I saw about that was the fact that like every other alien species was still using melee combat.
Mm-hmm.
And they were wondered why they got into the battlefield, and they all of a sudden they all just dropped dead. Like, yeah. We are experts at lazy combat. It's I don't want to do it. Send a missile.
Yep.
You know.
Or one was do not engage with humans because we have rules.
They don't.
And they don't. And when you don't play by the rules, we throw the rule book away.
We're really good at not following rules. Like, we're terrible at it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Every single time it's Geneva Convention, whatever.
Then it becomes Geneva checklist.
Yeah. It is purely a suggestion box that we throw in the garbage can.
Yep.
So
yeah, to kind of wrap it up, the truth may actually be there. It's just being policed heavily, I think. But if anyone listening knows anything about any of this stuff, leave a comment. If you have a security clearance, if you work in any of those labs, if you've seen the friction points yourself, use some kind of a secure means. But let us know. We would love to hear what you've seen. But
for legal
whatever
reasons,
you
do not disclose anything to us that we're not supposed to know.
Do not do the War Thunder.
Yeah, no.
Do not disclose classified information.
No.
Especially not on our Discord. Jesus Christ.
No, I will delete that shit faster than you can blink. Because I, as an avid War Thunder guy, I have seen it happen. So, no.
Yes. But,
God, no.
Yeah, you use a fake identity. Tell us whatever you need to tell us without disclosing anything. But just keep your head down, and whatever you do, don't look at the red light on the end of that little device.
Oh man, God, it's crazy.
Yeah, but that wraps us up for the show. If you guys have anything, we'd love to hear it from you. But other than that, you have anything else you want to add in?
No, just by the time we actually figure out what's going on, I don't know if we'll have an economy at the rate we're going.
Oh shit, dude.
I'm just saying, like, at the rate things are happening,
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, everyone, thanks for hanging out. I hope you all enjoyed the episode. Like I said, we're going to take next week off for the holiday. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Hopefully, Gibbles can join us.
Yeah.
And until then, question everything. Keep your heads down, your butts up. We love you, and we'll see y'all then.